Sup, nerds, and welcome to Oxygen Not Included. This is one of the big ones, and I say that with capital letters. While Dwarf Fortress is really the founder of the colony sim genre, O&I was one of the first games to really iterate on it in a unique way. If you found my channel, you probably know this game well. If you don't, it's on sale on Steam for 66% off until the end of the day this video is coming out. Sorry about that. So we're going to just jump in. I had another game I've been playing around to refamiliarize myself with the game. We'll go ahead and go into survival mode. We'll do the spaced out content, and we are going to. I could do the Frosty Planet Pack. I'm not really feeling that this time, so we're just gonna do. We're gonna go ahead and do a standard asteroid for today. What this game is a colony sim along the lines of Dwarf Fortress, where you have these people called duplicants. These are artificial clones of presumably of the last humans before some disaster happened. It's not really clear what happened to make them live on an asteroid, but they're living on an asteroid now, and we can see some different trace of asteroids nearby. We'll go ahead and we'll just pop right in here on this. I'm okay with all those settings. And our goal is first to get them to survive, and second to get them to thrive. I'm not really planning a long campaign of this, but if people are interested, I will absolutely give that a second thought. So, first thing we have to do is figure out who's coming with us and what they're doing. The traits that I really want to seek out to start are going to be a builder, a digger, and a digger, no, everyone can dig. A researcher is critical. A builder is critical. And early on, I think I actually want to go ahead and go with a rancher. Why? Because even when it's not super important, I like going for the carnivore achievement. Uh, so we're going to reroll a couple times, and I will be back once I see things are looking about where I want them. I think we have our three. So first we have Lindsay here, who is our researcher. Her thing is going to be she's a quick learner, but she snores loudly. That's a little unfortunate, so we'll just have to set her a little apart from the others in the bedroom. It'll be okay. We can work around that pretty easily. Then we have Pei here, who is our constructor and a mechatronics engineer. That what that is going to be very important as we get a bit of technology going. I will show that off. Very important duplicate to go for if you're going for some of the rarer achievements to get. And then we have a critter rancher, somebody who's starting with that capability, and a bottomless stomach, which means that they need to eat more. I'm okay with that. Steve here is going to actually be pretty key to getting something started. Now we need to name the colony, and well, let's go with look through a few of the different things. The Contagious Cesspool sounds like a fantastic name for this. So let's get in on it. You might notice some similarities if you've been watching this channel to Mind Over Magic. Mind Over Magic is published by Clay Entertainment, the company that developed and published this game, and they clearly had a lot of influence in the development of Mind Over Magic and making it a better game. But this one is definitely older, came first, and is really just a charming, fun, great game. And we'll be showing off some of that. So, first off, there's a few things we need to do. The very first thing you do when you start a new game is you go to the priorities menu. You make sure everybody is set to do the things they're good at above all else, and that they then do other tasks like as secondaries, perhaps. So, uh, our scientists, I want to be less likely to go out digging, for example. I want our constructor to be less likely, and I want Steve to do that. Why do I keep doing that? And then down there on researching, it will just keep Lindsay as our primary researcher. But you see, we start off in this little area. You can see this kind of blue dust in the back. That is our oxygen. You see, we have a quantity of oxygen, a temperature. We have a source of oxygen up here, the oxalite. The name's actually a little bit of a misnomer. There is some oxygen included, but not enough to keep your dupes going. And so our first thing needs to be expanding out, getting a place to start getting some research, keeping our needs and costs low, establishing food, water, and air production. So, how do we do that? Well, first thing we do is we just dig out a little bit. Our duplicants will all have a little ray gun that you'll see go and start digging through some of these. We have a source of water down here, so we'll start heading in that direction as well. And once we get some materials mined out, we'll start constructing. So we'll set them off to do that. Crank the speed up. I always play this game on max speed. Now we have our first kind of section here opened. We want to make our most basic needs, make sure they are met. So we need to make sure there are beds for everyone. Actually, this last one, we're going to want to cancel that because we want one person's bed to be over on this side, and that's going to be assigned to our snorer because they are going to be disrupting everyone else otherwise. What a fantastic pose Pei has here as they fall down because the block they were on was mined out from under them. Loud sleeper. Lindsay, this is your bed. The other two, I don't mind who goes where. We're going to need to build. Oh no, Lindsay. No, Lindsay. No. First, you're moving here. Sorry. There we go. Lindsay was going to take that out and then drop to the ground and have a bad time. I saw it coming. Duplicants are notorious. Why? For doing things like that. Get up there. Yeah, thank you. And we'll get that built. We'll get another couple of outhouses built just to make sure everybody can take care of those needs. Just extend this out a little more. It's fine that they're next to the beds for now. We'll get something more permanent in time. If you've watched what I do a few times, you know that I am a big believer in things are not permanent now, but they will get that way very quickly. We don't have a sink yet, do we? Unless it's in medicine. Okay, got a wash basin here. We can set that up. So yeah, we'll just keep spreading out, building. Going to also start getting some of our other basics planned. We'll get a pitcher pump down there. We'll just make like floor to it like that. If you saw Mind Over Magic, a lot of the same mechanics around morale, especially, are going to seem very familiar to you. Conviction works in the same way as just mood does in this game. So we'll get that built out. We're going to build a little ladder segment across here just so our dupes can like climb across them. It's a little bit of a cheeky way to get them, like Pei's demonstrating, moving across otherwise inaccessible spaces. The other big thing we need to build right now is a research table, which we can put right here. We're going to need a place to power that. There's only one source of power we have right now, and that is the hamster wheel, a manual generator, but it's a hamster wheel. And we'll put two batteries down short term with that. And connect these up with wire. The wire is made from copper, which is the shiny metal we've been gathering over here. So we can stretch that out and connect all these up into one grid. Managing your grids, keeping fuses from blowing, blackouts, that's a big part of like the mid game. You might have noticed we've picked up a few of these things. These are muck roots. These are a chunk of food. We need so many of these early game, mostly because, and this is why I want to be going for the ranching early on. There's an achievement that I would like us to do. I'm going to put this battery recharge threshold to 15%. We'll only be recharging the battery then. Over here on the right side, we've got achievements. Now, the two nice little challenge achievements I enjoy chasing every time are, well, there's three right here. Carnivore, where they eat 400,000 kilocalories of critter meat before the 100th cycle, the 100th day night cycle. Locavores, so they can only eat food without growing any. These two work well together because ranching does not count as growing food. This is just planting any seeds, and super sustainable where we are going for sustainable sources of power. So I'm going for those at least, and these are the three timed ones. We have to get them done before the 100th cycle, or this one at least we have to get done before the 100th cycle. That is our initial goal. In order to pull that off, we need to get our ranching economy up and running. We need to have people switching to a carnivore diet quickly, and we need to make sure there are enough people eating enough to hit that calorie limit by turn 100. There's ways to make it even harder, like to up the consumption levels needed for each duplicate. We're not doing that. So off they go to spend some time in the outhouse, probably done for the day, going to take a nap. We'll be back in the morning. Oh, we have our first hatch. This is going to be the first thing we ranch. Because these exist, one thing we're going to want to do is get food into storage pretty. Lindsay's snoring, you can see kind of the area of effect of it right here. So they'll have to be constantly off on their own because of that. The shine bug is starting to disturb sleep here. There's a way to resolve that problem. Anyway, oh god, disinfecting's happening. I need to turn that off. We'll just turn that off. The chance of food poisoning is less impactful than the time it takes to clean everything, especially when we have a sink set up. So now we have a source of water. We'll get research going. That's our next phase. And past that, we just need to be expanding pretty much as far as we can. There's going to be some things we can't dig through, like this abyssalite here. There's also going to be granite in a few places, so I'm not seeing any near here. But tougher materials that we need skills to get through that we don't have yet. But essentially, this game is split into biomes, which are kind of chunked into zones, and we want to hollow out this main biome that we're in. We want to get as many materials from it as quickly as possible. Not at the cost of research, though. Have our research station up. I mentioned we want to get food going right away. I really mean right away. We're going to at least get this first one to get algae going because algae is an easy source of oxygen in the early game. And we're going to need to get the advanced research table, which is right here. That can be next. Oh, can we not queue up as much in this game? Maybe we can't queue up as much. Okay, we'll get the algae first. Next step is the advanced research. Plumbing, sanitation, like all of this is very useful. Don't get me wrong. We'll be able to knock out a couple with a quick learner researcher though. Like we'll make good progress on things and we'll start getting a bedroom set up as our next goal for those who are not researching. Went ahead and laid out some blocks here that are going to be bedroom, bathroom, and a eating area as our first main priority. So our dupes will get to digging all this out, and we should start seeing things coming together here soon. Algae research is done, fantastic. So with that done, we're going to go ahead and move into working towards advanced research. We need to be able to make more advanced research very quickly. The reason we wanted to put our research table near here is if we look at our, where is it? Our light screen, we can see that this is getting some light and light ups working speed. So we're going to want to keep that right there that whole time. Our batteries are holding on to power well. Small batteries are not terribly efficient, so we'll want to replace those in time. I saw you eating that dirt. I saw you pooping out that coal. We'll deal with you soon. So the oxalite we started with has run out, which means that at this point, unless we find new sources to tap into, and there's a couple small ones, we want to make sure that we are producing our own oxygen. The best way is an oxygen diffuser early on. Algae terrariums are also good for taking out carbon dioxide as we get in further, and you can see some's already kind of building up here. So what I'm probably going to do is dig up that spot, we'll put an algae terrarium right here at one of the lowest points in our base at the moment, and an oxygen diffuser right here to be spreading it up. So let's go and get that there, and that, and the oxygen diffuser right here. Oxygen diffuser does require power, I believe. Yes. And that is a constant drain, but both of these use some of the algae we've been digging up, which is this green stuff right here, and basically converting it into oxygen at a rate that is good for our duplicants. And the terrarium also takes some of the bad gunk away and starts making it so we're able to use that, which is also critical to the success. We nearly have this first room as hollowed out as I care to get it at the moment. We will toss beds in there. Our research is on to the advanced research at this point. That should be done any moment. Once it is, we'll we will speed run straight to critter ranching and get a ranch set up. Soon, this is going to start up, this printing pod here, and we will use it to print out a new duplicate. 4 at the start is a pretty solid starting number. So, can we just move these, or no? We'll have to deconstruct them and everything. Okay, that's fine. Resources, I don't believe, are lost through deconstructing and reconstructing, so it's not a huge deal. Snorer's bed, and then the other 3. Perfect. We got our advanced research done. With that, like I said, we're beelining right to ranching. I want to make sure our food is covered. We have a moment to research meal preparation. We're not going to cook for a bit, but we will be using the mess table, so that's good. This is a barracks. Most basic room type. Gives a morale bonus up there at the bottom. Fantastic. That's what we're looking for. There are luxury barracks and there are private bedrooms, which we can set up in time, but for now, we just want the basic room morale bonus. Steve over here is struggling a bit due to trying to work in a place without oxygen. You can see him panting for air there, but we'll get it done. And here's our first printable. We're able to grab someone new. Oh, we're going to grab this digger right here. Oh my god. Bottomless stomach, which will help us hit our calorie goal. Frostproof doesn't really matter too much, but if we get into cold environments, they'll be great there. Super duper hard digging will let them start working through diamond and obsidian, which unlikely we'll encounter those, but just having the digging skill gives them more excavation, and they're going to be a pretty good, just general gopher to go around and do work. Welcome, Freya. If any of you would like to be named or have any of these duplicants named after you, totally willing to, just leave a comment below. Remembered priorities, we're going to set Freya to a higher priority in digging, like the highest and low priority in ranching, researching. And the next priority up is going to be operating, which is going to be running on the wheel here. Making sure the batteries are full. Can see we're at 12,000 calories now, which, you know, we could have more. We could definitely have more. But we're getting our food made, we're getting people satisfied. We'll put a farm above. This is going to be our mess hall. We'll put a farm up here just so, or a ranch up there, so we're starting to get some food in. It will be a bit. No researchers assigned. Well, it's night game. It's night. I do need to make the advanced research platform now. The station. That's a supercomputer, and we'll just put that right here for now. Again, this is all a little short term. We're just knocking out research as we can easily knock out research. I forgot to deconstruct these beds down here, so nobody went up to sleep in the morale. Or in the barracks, nobody's getting the morale bonuses. We're fixing that now. That was a silly mistake. Since we're getting rid of those, we'll just toss that right here as soon as the bed's gone. There we go. Get some wire stretched across. Perfect. Back to building out these areas. We have this. We can build some furniture. We'll get 8 in there preemptively. We'll put a water cooler in. The reason for that will be apparent soon. We're going to turn it off as soon as it's built. We don't actually want anybody using the water cooler as a social place, because that just wastes water. We don't have an advanced researcher. I didn't even think of that. Lindsay should be leveling up relatively soon. I mean, I guess I could throw Freya onto advanced research temporarily. Is it worth doing? How close are you? Yeah, you're pretty close. I'm willing to put Freya onto hard digging, make them even better at it. With the morale bonus from the bedroom, we have enough space. The more skills people have, the more morale they require to stay happy. We're also going to give you a cool hat. And the more that they require to stay happy, well, the more likely they are to break. And we don't want any breaks. Not mental breaks anyway. They can take regular breaks every day. Speaking of breaks, I didn't even think about the schedule here. We can have them sleep a little less than they are. That should be fine. We also don't need bath time in the mornings. So they'll get 2 hours of downtime, should be enough. They'll pop in for a quick nap, and then they'll go back out to work. Every second counts, and I feel very silly for missing those seconds before. We can see here already this is a mess hall. Just needs a mess table, no industrial machinery. Great Hall needs that and a fancy decor item plus a recreational building. This counts as a recreational building, so we're going to turn it off, and then we just need to hang a fancy pot off the ceiling or something like that. We'll find some Bliss Burst, which is a plant you can get, or something along those lines here pretty quickly and get that going. In the meantime, we keep digging out, building out, finding more. All these little cracks in the soil, like this one right here, usually that means they have something in them, whether it is meal root or muckroot like this, or it can actually be straight up hatches, the little critters that have been running around. We want them, whatever it is. So we're going to keep digging, keep finding what's in these spots, expanding out the tile, and just making sure we found every little bit of food we can find in the early game. I was going to make this a bathroom. It's fine. We can go ahead and do that here. I do the double doors because that lets oxygen flow in more freely while still defining this as a room. The double doors are very nice for that specific purpose. Are you already done with the novice research on ranching? You are. I guess the next thing we really want then is going to be air systems. I feel we can hesitate a moment on that, and I want a fancy decoration, so we'll get like a corner trim or a hanging pot or something like that. Will work. We'll make that a nice little room, and that only requires an office research. And that should give Lindsay here enough time to learn to do advanced research as well. As soon as they skill up, we'll be able to teach them that. Getting warnings about insufficient oxygen generation, it has to do with power storage and power production. All things we are going to have to deal with, but if we look at, oh yeah, that's very low oxygen levels. Okay. So one of these emits 333.3 grams per second of oxygen while it's active. That's the key, while it's active. Meanwhile, if we look at a dupe, they consume, I guess it's not in here, but I believe they consume around 500, no, around 100 grams a day, which means that even for the number we have, we need two of these. So let's cancel this one, and we'll build another one right next to the existing one. We'll just drag that power over, and just while the batteries are full, then we'll see that going. Means somebody's going to have to spend more time getting the batteries full, but I think that's a sacrifice we can make. This is 14, 15, 16 tiles. We're gonna make this the bathroom like wanted to do over here. We'll do it here instead. Here we go. Bathroom is built. If we take a look at the rooms and see that, hey, we're getting a +1 morale bonus just for that existing now. We are still working on getting this upgraded into a great hall, but just having a mess hall already is some good boost. So while we're dealing with some very low quality stuff, we're still making sure to keep our people happy. That is something we have learned is very important. We're going to deconstruct these. I'm going to need to make a little dump near here, a compost area. Can I make that yet? Yes. So we'll make a compost area right here, and that is going to handle the poop and convert it into dirt over time. Won't take much effort with just this, but it'll help handle these. And we'll keep on expanding, searching for more food, more sources, and trying to get our power up and our research done. Might want to make a second uh, little wheel now that I think about it, just to make sure that we have enough. In terms of green energy, which is what we'll be replacing those with, the best is going to be like solar panels and especially steam power when we get late game. You can do some fantastic things with steam power, things such as volcano taming, where you use a constant magma flow from volcanoes in order to supply your colony. For now, though, we'll just uh, we'll just keep this as it is. We're getting some polluted oxygen out in the air. It's not great. We'll leave it be for now. I'm already 15 minutes into this episode. Thank you all for coming to watch. Hope you enjoyed. This game's on sale right now. I'm going to put a link to Mind Over Magic, which I mentioned a few times in the end links, and hopefully, if you like watching this kind of game, you'll enjoy that series. I've got it on a bit of a hiatus right now, but if I get interest, I'm happy to pick that game up again. I might even stream it live soon. I don't know. I really like that game. But until then, Pays earned a skill point. We'll take a look here. Yeah, okay. Take a look here. Lindsay has hers. We have advanced research, and we are getting improved construction going as well. So we are well prepared. We're even putting people's hats on to get really into the next stage of this colony, past this first breakneck, get a basic place to live and get some creature comforts down. Ending it here. Thank you all for watching. Hope you have a great rest of your day.